The signal came at 2:42 a.m. Most people were asleep, but not Dayan, a 17-year-old boy who loved machines more than sleep. In his tiny bedroom in Bizin, computers blinked softly. His desk was full of wires, parts, and an old laptop covered in stickers. That night, he wasn't gaming. He was running a simulation to test gravitational wave patterns. But then, something strange happened. The screen went black for 3 seconds. Then it showed a message. Geometry confirmed. Sequence 9 theta unlocked. Dayan frowned. He hadn't programmed that. He replayed the simulation again. Same result. A spinning shape appeared on the screen, 12 lines, crossing into a perfect star. Not like a drawing, but moving, alive. Almost breathing. At the same time, across the city, Yena, a 26-year-old data analyst at the Korean Space Authority, was reviewing satellite logs. She was tired. Her job mostly involved cleaning up boring space data debris, radio noise, weather junk. But tonight, she saw something, a shape. The same shape as Dayan's, a 12-line spinning star, appeared inside encrypted weather data, hidden in noise. Hidden by someone. Her heart skipped. She checked 3 more data logs. All had the same mark. It wasn't a glitch. Something was sending a message. The next morning, Dayan posted his discovery on an online forum for space hobbyists. He called it the Breathing Star. Within hours, the forum exploded. People shared screenshots, copied the shape, made 3D models. Yena saw his post. Her hands shook. She sent him a message. "Where did you get this? I work in satellite defense. We need to talk." They met in a small cafe near the coast. Yena wore a black cap and sunglasses. Dayan looked nervous but excited. They talked for 2 hours. He showed her his simulation data. She showed him classified logs. It was the same, worse. The signal wasn't coming from deep space. It was coming from Earth's orbit, very close. But nothing was supposed to be there. The Korean government moved quickly. A small space shuttle was sent up to check. Yena was added to the mission as a data expert. They also invited Dayan officially as an observer. But secretly, they believed he had a strange connection to the signal. When the shuttle reached orbit, they saw nothing. But Dayan pressed his hand to the glass, staring into empty space. He whispered, "It's there. I feel it." Suddenly, the stars bent. Light curved like water. And then it appeared, a massive black palace, floating above Earth, silent, beautiful. It didn't shine. It drank the light around it. Its towers were sharp like crystal. Its surface shimmered like oil on water. No one said a word. The crew stared in fear and wonder. Yena took a breath. It was cloaked. The shuttle moved closer. The palace didn't move. They docked at a small glowing gate. Dayan stepped forward. As he touched the gate, a blue light scanned him from head to toe. Then the gate opened. Inside, the halls were wide and empty. The walls glowed with soft silver light. Symbols moved across the surface language, but not any human language. Something strange happened. All the writing turned into perfect Korean. A voice filled the hall, not loud, but inside their heads. Calm, cold. This palace was never meant to be found. The truth must remain unspoken. Dayan turned to Yena. They left it here on purpose. But why? Why hide something so big, so powerful, right above Earth? And why now? The palace had awakened. But what else would it bring with it? The doors closed behind them. Dayan, Yena, and the small crew stood inside the glowing entrance of the palace. The air felt strange thick, but not heavy. Everything was silent, except for a soft hum coming from the walls. The floor beneath Them was smooth and cold, like glass, but it gave off a faint warmth that no one dared to speak. Then the palace lights changed. A path lit up ahead, showing them where to walk. Every time they stopped, the lights waited. Every time they moved, the path moved forward. It's guiding us, Yenna said quietly. The halls were full of strange shapes, floating stones that moved like birds, metal vines growing along the ceiling, and statues tall, with long arms and eyes shaped like diamonds. Not human, not even close. They entered a large round chamber. In the center was a giant spinning ring made of silver light. Words floated inside it, shifting slowly into Korean. One by one, the sentences became clear. The message said, Rules of the Palace 1. Do not speak of the origin of the stars. 2. Do not take anything from this place. 3. Only one human may carry the knowledge. Dae-yeon read the words out loud. Everyone stood still. One crew member, a man named Taijin, laughed nervously. This is just alien art. Who says it's real? He reached toward a small glowing cube floating near the wall. Don't. Dae-yeon shouted, but it was too late. The moment Taijin touched the cube, he vanished. No scream, no light. Just silence. Yenna froze. He's gone. Everyone began to panic. One of the officers tried calling the shuttle. No signal. Another crew member reached for their emergency kit. Everything inside had melted. The palace was controlling them. Dae-yeon stepped forward. He didn't know why, but he felt calm. He touched the spinning ring. It stopped. The room darkened, then lit again. A beam of light wrapped around him. His eyes rolled back as visions filled his mind. He saw stars being born, worlds made and destroyed. He saw aliens many kinds, tall, glowing, insect-like, shadow-like. They fought each other across galaxies. And then he saw Earth, a green world, young. It was touched by strange hands, built, not formed. He saw humans growing, rising, being reset again and again. When the vision ended, Dae-yeon fell to his knees. His nose was bleeding. Yenna rushed to him. What did you see? She asked, holding him. He looked at her with wide eyes. This place isn't just a building. It's a library, a judge, a prison. And it chose me. The walls changed again. Symbols formed in the air, making a new message. Crown bearer selected. Yenna backed away. What does that mean? Dae-yeon stood up slowly. It means I have to carry the truth. But I can't share it. Not ever. A quiet alarm began too. Sound. Lights flashed red and blue. Another message appeared. Rule 3 activated. One bearer only. Prepare for test. The palace started closing doors behind them. The floor shifted. The statues began to move. They're testing us, Yenna said, to see if you're strong enough to hold what they gave you. Dae-yeon reached out and took her hand. Then I need you with me. They ran as the walls moved. Doors opened ahead only when Dae-yeon touched them. The palace was watching, studying. It didn't want to destroy Earth. It wanted to see what kind of human would carry the truth. But what was the truth? And what would it cost him to know it? Dae-yeon stood inside the palace core. Yenna held his hand tightly. Around them, the walls moved like liquid glass, showing images from faraway places, burning stars, alien cities, machines older than time. The palace was no longer testing them. It was preparing something. Another message appeared in the air. The truth must be shown. The bearer must decide. The floor below them disappeared. They didn't fall, they floated. A giant white room opened below, filled with thousands of floating memory crystals. Each one played a vision. The palace spoke again, but not in words. It pushed the knowledge directly into Dae-yeon's mind. He saw Earth thousands of years ago. It looked different, covered in silver towers, skies full of ships. But there were no humans. Alien creatures ruled the planet. They called themselves the gardeners. They were the ones who made humans, not born, but built, created in test chambers, designed to grow, forget, and repeat. Every time humans became too strong, too curious, the gardeners erased them. Floods, fires, ice, wars. Then they started again. Dayan gasped. His heart pounded. We are experiments. The palace pushed more. It showed him the stars, other planets full of life, some peaceful, some brutal, but all watched by the same force. The gardeners had long disappeared, leaving behind palaces. Like this one, silent judges, hidden across the galaxy. Dayan fell to his knees. Yenna held him. What are you seeing? He looked at her with tears in his eyes. Earth is not ours. We were never alone. But they didn't leave. They just hid. Yenna shook her head. No one will believe that. It's too much. Another message appeared. Do not share the truth. Speak it, and the judgment will begin. Dayan finally understood rule number 1. The truth was not dangerous because it was evil. It was dangerous because it would break minds. Make humans fight, panic, collapse. If the world knew it was created, watched, reset again and again, they would destroy each other out of fear. The palace now showed Earth in real time. Governments had discovered the palace. Satellites were pointed at it. Some countries called it a threat. Some called it a gift. Some prepared missiles. A final message glowed before Dayan. Decide. Carry the truth alone or share and bring judgment. Yenna looked up at the screen. They'll attack it. They're scared. Dayan stood. His body glowed now. Alien symbols burned across his skin. Not painful, but powerful. He had become part of the palace. A voice whispered inside him. You are the crown bearer. The story must live, but not be told. Dayan turned to Yenna. If I keep this secret, I'll never be normal again. She nodded slowly. But you'll keep the world safe. He reached out, touching a final crystal. The palace began to fade. Not break, not vanish, just slip away. It moved higher into orbit, out of reach, invisible once more. Yenna and Dayan awoke on the shuttle, floating peacefully. Their memories had been wiped, but not fully. Dayan still remembered in pieces. In dreams, Yenna remembered only the feeling. The palace was gone, but the truth lived inside one human heart. Years passed. Dayan never spoke of the palace again. He returned to Earth a quiet man. Not a hero, not a scientist. Just someone who watched the sky too often and spoke too little. The world called the palace sighting a mistake, a strange glitch in space. Governments hid the truth. The shuttle crew disappeared into silent jobs. No one mentioned the missing man, Taijin. He was listed as lost during re-entry. But Dayan knew. He walked through life as if carrying glass inside him. Fragile, sharp, filled with light no one could see. He moved to a small town near the mountains and changed his name. He became a quiet philosophy teacher. The students liked him. He was kind, gentle, but strange. He never used phones. He never watched the news. And every night, he stared at the stars for hours. Yenna visited him once a year. She still worked with the Korean Space Authority. Her memories of the palace were blurry shadows, sounds, fear. But something in her soul remembered more. She had dreams of floating rooms, of stars speaking, of Dayan glowing like fire. They never became lovers. But their bond was deep, unspoken. One rainy night, Dayan sat alone, writing something in a notebook, a story. He called it the Palace of Stars. It was fiction, he said, about a floating palace, a boy who saw the truth, and a girl who helped him stay human. He published it under a fake name, just to see if anyone would read it. It spread like wildfire. Not as a bestseller, but online. Quietly. People shared it in forums, late-night chats, podcasts. Some said it felt too real. Others said it gave them strange dreams. No one knew who wrote it. One reader, a student from Seoul, wrote, "I don't know why, but this story feels like something I've forgotten. The palace never returned. But sometimes people said they saw something just before sunrise, a shadow moving across the stars, a soft hum in the sky, a dream they couldn't explain." Daeyeon smiled. When he read those stories, he knew the palace was still watching. He also knew the rules had not changed. Do not speak the truth. Do not take what is not yours. Only one may carry the weight. And he was still carrying it. One day, as he sat under the stars, Yenna asked him, "Do you ever wish you had told the world?" Daeyeon thought for a moment. "I did tell them," he said softly, "but I told it as a story. That way, they could believe it or not. The truth only hurts when it's forced." Yenna nodded. "And if someone finds the palace again?" Daeyeon looked at the sky. "Then I hope they're ready." The world kept spinning. People lived, loved, fought, and dreamed, never knowing how close they came to breaking everything. But one man knew, and he chose to protect them. Not with power, but with silence. Above the clouds, hidden beyond human eyes, the Galactic Palace waited. Not asleep, just waiting. Because one day, the truth would rise again, and someone new would have to decide, to speak or to protect.